Hello friends, my name is AJ. I've been very excited to record this video for quite a while now, and today I'm going to be going over what I believe are the best apps for students to download in 2020, as well as students who are in remote learning this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. I'm going to be going over apps that are both in iOS as well as Android, and if it's not in both of them, then I will mention that. There will be a little pop-up on the side of the view which shows the app icon, the name of the app I'm going to go over, the price of the app, and also the availability on iOS and Android. Now, majority of the apps I'm going to be going over, I'm going to try to make sure that they are free, and the apps that do actually cost money, I generally also will give a free alternative app which works just as well for a free price. There are only a few apps where that's not necessarily possible, but most of them, they are possible. So without further ado, let's get started. And there are going to be 4 categories of apps I'm going to be going over in this video. The first category is going to be specifically for studying and learning. Studying and learning. This category of apps will basically help you with study habits as well as learning and help you with all of that stuff. The second category is going to be organizing, and these apps are going to help you organize your digital life as well as pretty much everything that you need for school. Especially, we're going to be on remote learning, and one of the things that a lot of people have inside of their classrooms is that their teacher may, for example, put, the due dates of different assignments on a whiteboard, or you'll be able to go to the teacher and ask questions after school or during class or whatever. And because we're going to be in remote learning, that may not necessarily always be possible. So these apps that will help you organize are going to be very, very important for everybody this year, as well as people who are in class due to maybe hectic schedule changes. The third type of apps that I'm going to be talking about are going to be for socializing. And these apps are basically going to help you, and just in general are a very good app for basically talking with others, especially if you're on remote learning, of course. Actually being able to talk to people, you're going to all have to do that generally through the internet in some way. So I'm going to be going over an app which I think is very good for that. And then the last category of apps I'm going to be going over is going to be an app for wellness and coping. I made it a priority in this video. I think it's very important to go over an app that helps people with their mental well-being. With the entire pandemic and remote learning, people are going to be very, very isolated, and they're not going to be able to talk with as many people. Already, we've been seeing that, a lot of people have been feeling this way, especially in the last few months, and it's only going to continue and get worse as months goes on. And in general, even then for the people who go in, they may have a heightened anxiety about maybe, catching the virus and then passing it on to their family, friends, teachers, classmates, whatever. And that is not even including the stress that's generally always there in high school or just even in college or any type of school in general, with assignments due, things to do constantly. So I'm going to be going over an app which kind of helps with the mental health aspect so that everyone can stay very healthy, both physically and mentally, this particular year. Alright everyone, the first category that I'm going to be going over is going to be the studying and learning category. And first off is an app that pretty much most of you may have already recognized and may have already been using extensively, but I just had to include it. And that is Quizlet. Now, Quizlet is an application that allows you to make flashcard decks, and you can do many, many things with these flashcard decks. So for example, I'm going to go over here to a Spanish flashcard deck that I made that has, it seems, 69 to 70 terms. And these things are going to be, as you can see, that when you're scrolling through your application, you can see all of your flashcards. You can hear an audio recording by simply tapping on the little speaker icon on the top right of each card. You can also click the star button to, maybe if you don't know a word, you can star it and then always be able to go back to it later. So this is very, very good for studying. You can see that there's a giant button already that says study this test, and you can see how many options there are. There's a learn option, which allows you, if you pretty much haven't really practiced that much at all, it kind of helps with getting you familiar with the different terms that you're using. There is a flashcards feature, which of course allows you to very easily see all of your flashcards. You can very easily tap if you need to check the definition and then swipe over. It's a very, very good interface. Another really good thing about Quizlet is that you can actually search pretty much for anybody else's decks if they made it public. And this is going to be very, very helpful. So for example, if I just want to go here and search for example, AP US History, I can just search for example, American Pageant Chapter 21. You can see all of these different flashcard decks that people have made. I can just tap on one, for example, and you can see here that it goes over all of these different very good definitions and terms, and you can just see how even people have added pictures, so people can do many different things with these decks. And in general, because they're available to the public to use, you can pretty much always find a flashcard deck for your needs. And it's also very easy to create flashcards as well with auto-filling definitions and all of that. I may actually do a video in the future talking about how to very quickly add vocabulary lists into Quizlet so that you have less time copying and pasting and more time actually studying what you're supposed to learn. Alright everyone, the next app that I wanted to go over is the Forest app, and some of you may or may not have heard of this. So this particular app is going to be a $1.99, but it is also available on iOS and Android, and if you click on it, this is actually a very interesting app. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to actually stay focused. This app is kind of meant to keeping people focused and motivated on the task at hand. Of course, a lot of people, they are going to be sitting and maybe studying, especially if you're on remote learning, and then over on the side near your phone, you see a notification. And that notification, for example, may be on social media, such as Twitter, or if people don't really use Twitter that much, maybe Instagram, you get maybe some sort of notification, and then you have to go respond to it, but at the same time, you see a friend request, and then you're looking through their feed, and then after all of that is done, you realize that 20 minutes has passed, and you have completely wasted a lot of time, a lot of valuable time for getting what you need to do done. Because of course, once you get all of your work completed, you're gonna have a lot of free time at the end of it to do whatever you want to do, and you'll be stress-free because you know that you completed all of your work in the time provided. So what this app basically allows you to do is you can set a specific time period that you want to actually stay focused. So for example, if I want to work on writing an essay for 30 minutes, I can make my slider, you can see right over here, 30 minutes. Then in the center, I can tap, and there are all these different tree species that I can choose from. So for example, I can choose this one right over here. And what that's going to allow me to do is actually I'll choose this one, for example. What this allows me to do is I can actually click on plant, and I will allow notifications. So basically what this allows you to do, in a sense, is that it almost keeps your phone on this particular screen. If you leave the screen or you close the app, what's going to happen is your plant is going to die. So once you actually complete your particular activity, you complete the time, then a plant is actually planted in kind of this digital orchard. Now, the thing is with this app is it's not even more so because obviously, you may just close the app when your thing may die. You may just swipe up the notification that it's about to die, your tree, whatever. But what it allows, what the reason why it is so effective is it almost creates a psychological barrier, right? That once you leave your app, you're almost notified by something that, you're about to maybe go into a different, you may be veering off track or off task, and maybe you should get back onto whatever you're doing. And that pretty much creates a psychological barrier. It basically almost forces you in a sense to go back to what you are doing, as it pretty much reminds you of that. Because a lot of people, they may switch apps, they may get sidetracked without even really consciously realizing that they are. So this app is very good for that. All right, everyone, the third app within the studying and learning category that I wanted to talk about is Notability. Now, Notability is an iOS-only app and is paid, but the reason why I wanted to put this app here is not even for people who have a phone, but mainly for people who have a tablet of some sort, like an iPad. If you have an iPad, what Notability, and I will be making a video much more extensively on Notability in the future because of how good it is, but what Notability allows you to do is it pretty much allows you to take all of your notes digitally. You don't even need to take notes on a separate device. Notability has so many features, especially if you're using something like a stylus. You'll be able to take your notes, you can record different things, add in screenshots, you can even search for your text, you can create different dividers, different categories here. I just wanted to include that. This one is kind of a, not necessarily for everybody, it's mainly for people who have a tablet, but it is definitely worth the price that they're charging for it. It is probably, in my opinion, my favorite app on the entire iPad in general. So definitely, if you have an iPad or you have any sort of tablet like that and you have a stylus, definitely check out Notability. And there's going to be a video again on Notability very soon, so stay tuned for that. Alright everyone, the fourth app that I'm going to be talking about is going to be great for people who are learning a new language, and that is going to be Duolingo. Many people have already heard of this app and may already have it on their device, and Duolingo is great because it basically allows you to learn all of these different things for a new language. It's very interactive. For example, if I click on, let's do introduction here, and I can just restore this, and you can see right over here that once it opens up the specific lesson, you can see it has very good graphics. So for example, the apple, I can click, she, I can click as well. And there are all these different things that you can pretty much go through all of these different lessons, and it's very interactive. There's even text-to-speech options. You can chat with somebody or chat with a bot, which is in Spanish, and it will pretty much allow you to learn your communication skills. There are many different things that Duolingo is very good for, and I definitely recommend downloading it. It is free on both iOS and Android. Now, in addition to Duolingo, another app which is made by the same company is actually called Tiny Cards. And Tiny Cards, I'm just going to click Login with Duolingo, and I'm just going to sign in very quickly. Alright, so I am back, I signed in, and what Tiny Cards is the name of the app, if I didn't already mention it before. What Tiny Cards allows you to do is it pretty much creates little tiny flashcards which are related to different lessons curated by the company or by the people who kind of made Duolingo. And you can also make your own cards, but for example, I can click on this Duolingo Spanish course. You can see these are just these very little small flashcard lessons. You can easily tap on these different things. You can see over here, a specific word, you can flick it over. You can see, for example, if you know it, then you could check it off. It's another flashcard app, which is definitely very cool. Offers many different things about, for example, different languages, US history, animals, I guess as well, because that's one over here. You can see planets, environmental science. There are many different things which you can use Tiny Cards for, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Alright everyone, so the next kind of grouping of apps which I wanted to talk about is going to be your main, almost classroom type of app. And different schools use different things, but these two apps I'm going to be going over very shortly for a very short period of time, is Canvas and Google Classroom. This pretty much allows you to connect two different courses, especially on remote learning. Some people will probably be using those different tools that, like the teachers will be able to put assignments on there and all of that. So obviously that is a necessity, and you should definitely have that downloaded on your device with notifications on so that you don't miss any assignments or any notifications. Alright everyone, the eighth particular app that I'm talking about is also one that a lot of people have probably seen, and that is Khan Academy. And Khan Academy is simply a very good application. I can just tap it over here. And pretty much there are lessons on anything related to any different course that you are looking for. Like I can just scroll down right over here and click on search. You can see that there is pretty much anything that you need to know, or all these different video lessons to help you understand. And the teacher on Khan Academy, Khan, is very good at what he does. He does a very good job in almost all of his explanations, and he pretty much goes in at a level where, it's not that hard for people who don't know a lot, don't know a lot about the topic to learn, but also where people who know kind of what the general topic's about, but just want to learn a few things kind of to fill in any gaps. It's very good for almost everybody. And there are all these different courses. For example, in math, there is, AP Statistics. AP or AP Calculus. If I go to science, there's things like AP Physics, there's AP Biology, AP Chemistry, and even an AP Chemistry Beta where he's kind of redoing some of those things. There is, if I go to Art and Humanities, there's an AP US History. There are just so many things in this particular application which you can use, and it's almost an invaluable source for any student to learn any information. All right, everyone, and the last two apps that I do want to go over in this category, these are kind of a bonus and only for iOS, these two. These are actually apps that I have made, and these are almost geared towards students as well. The first one is called GeogSmart. And what GeogSmart allows you to do is it pretty much is almost a quiz application for geography. You can click on different things, you can take different quizzes, for example, like what is the highlighted country? I will close out of this particular game. You can unlock very cool badges. So for example, if you're on like certain days, you can see over here that there are some special edition badges which you can get. For example, Halloween, you can get, for example, the spooky badge, for example. There is also Love for Geography, which is Valentine's Day. And you can connect to Game Center to kind of see your progress. There's a little store where you can even buy different app icons. But generally, the reason why I did want to go over this particular app is simply because of the content I made for AP Human Geography. You can click on Start, and you can pretty much, there is information for every single unit of AP Geography, AP Human Geography, including, for example, unit reviews, which I think is definitely something that is quite interesting and very helpful for those who are taking classes related to geography. Now, the second app that I made is called Pocket Chem, and this is a chemistry tools type of application. You can see on the home page that you have an entire periodic table of elements. You can click on each element. You can see a bunch of very useful information. You can, if you go over here to the second tab, you have widgets such as a chemical equation balancer. So for example, I can balance chemical equations in here. There are things such as an empirical formula solver. There are reference tools for all the different formulas. So this is generally very good for anybody who is doing anything chemistry related, and I definitely recommend downloading it. It is, of course, all the apps that I have made are completely free, but available only for iOS. All right, everyone, that brings me to the second category of apps. We are now finished with the studying and learning category, and I'm going to be going over these relatively quickly. But the first app is one also of a very, very good application. You may have already seen a few people using it on the internet. It is called Notion. And Notion in general, I'm just going to open it right over here. Notion is very good. You can see right over here, these are some notes for my video that I was doing in Notion. If I just scroll over here, I can click on my sample Notion. And what Notion allows you to do is it pretty much allows you to organize your entire life. You can put lists, you can make calendars, you can create notes, you can create like little boards, little art boards. You can create pretty much anything you want within Notion. Checklists, for example, like my do assignments, I created a sample checklist. I can check things off on my checklist. You can add different emojis, different covers. So for example, over here, I added this little default cover at the top. So it's like a little image. You can add different, links. You can pretty much add anything you want, even code snippets for those of you who are interested in coding. Notion is pretty much amazing. And because there's so much to talk about in so little time, I'm going to be making an entire video series probably about Notion, because Notion just has so many features that a lot of people who start out on Notion, they may get a little intimidated by it because of just how many things that there are, how many features that there are. And I'm going to be probably creating a video series, a very short mini series, kind of teaching people how to use Notion. So definitely stay tuned for that. Once that comes out, I will probably link it in the description of this particular video. But Notion, definitely download it. It's completely free, available for iOS and Android. All right, the second kind of group of apps also I want to talk about is the main suite that you're going to be using. When I say suite, I'm kind of talking about what you're going to be using to manage your documents. And there are really two options here. There is Microsoft Office and there is Google, the Google G Suite. So you either have kind of the OneDrive and you have Google Drive. So the people who from school may have been given a free Microsoft account, many schools do that, you can easily access that within Office. But of course, Microsoft Office does have a subscription. and Google Drive and all the Google, like Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets. Those are all free to use, and I definitely recommend those because, for example, with school, you can share documents with other people. It's just generally a very good system to use, and everything saves in the cloud. You don't have to worry about losing anything, people overwriting your work. Everything is real time, and it does have a lot of features that are very, very useful for many people, students, and even teachers even alike. Alright everyone, the next app that I want to talk about is going to be a good calendar app for you to use. And this one is available only for iOS and does technically have a subscription, which is why I have an application that you can use as an alternate, which I will be going over in a second. But I'm going to open right over here. I'm going to be opening Time Page. And Time Page is a very, very interesting application. Because you can see, of course, this is my calendar view, so I'll probably have to blur this out. But this is my calendar. I can swipe to the, I can swipe through my calendar. I can swipe to the side, and you can see a heat map of every single day and all the different events that I have. I can scroll over here. There are Siri shortcuts that you can use. There are different themes you can apply. And generally, it is a very nice calendar app. I'm going to click on some random event, such as this is a test. And you can see that when you click on an event, you can see the calendar, you can see the time, you can see the location, the people, you can even see the weather, notes, URL, and availability. It's just a very nicely designed app, which I think will be very useful for people who are looking for a nice calendar app. This is definitely one that is very, very useful. But of course, because there is a subscription, a free alternative that you can use is the good old Google Calendar. And Google Calendar, and of course I'm going to have to blur this out as well, but the Google Calendar, what I really like about Google Calendar is that you can actually see each of your events within your calendar, even on a view such as this, even on a phone screen. If you use the default Apple one, you have a little dot. You have to click on it before you can actually see all of your different events. So Google Calendar works just as well. It's completely free. It is default, I'm pretty sure, on Android. And for iOS users, that's a free download. And in general, Google Calendar is a much better calendar app than the built-in one in iOS. So definitely, if you want to get a better calendar app, but of course you don't want to, either you don't have the availability or you don't have the option to because you're not on iOS, or you don't want to pay any sort of subscription, then I definitely recommend this over something like Time Page. Now, in addition to Time Page, is actually an app by them called Actions. This one is kind of interesting. This is available on both iOS and Android. But what this is, it's a very good app to create kind of keep track of different assignments and create lists. So for example, you can see I have a calendar over here. I'm just going to click over. You can see that I have a logbook of my different assignments. I can click on this button to access my different lists, and I can add assignments to different lists. So for example, this is an assignment right over here. I can click the done button, and then I can even click and drag this option. So I can just click and drag this option over to a specific day and immediately plop it down just like that. And to cross it off, I can just swipe over. It's very useful. It's a very good app, and definitely recommend it if you feel like downloading it. Now, of course, an alternative to this is going to be something like Notion, because Notion is really good, obviously, also for keeping track of different assignments. Again, I'm going to be going over Notion in a separate video, but Actions is also a very nicely designed app by the same company who makes Time Page. All right, everyone, we are finally done with the organizing category. Now I'm going to be getting into the socializing category. And obviously the apps here, there's really one app that I wanted to talk about because obviously people are going to use something like iMessage or maybe use something such as, you know, Google Hangouts, depending on the operating system that you're using. A lot of people may prefer Hangouts because they may have friends on both iOS and Android, and that's kind of a medium between the two. Of course, you can use iMessage for people who use Android, but from what I have seen, there are some people who can't actually use they can't use their SMS message. They have to use the internet instead of, you know, some sort of cellular data. So definitely something then such as Hangouts will be very useful. But another app which I wanted to talk about is actually Discord, because what Discord is really good at is you can have multiple people join, you can create different custom emotes, different groups, and you can create different channels. And that's what I like about this, because for example, if you have a group of people, right, that you are maybe talking to, but at the same time, you want to kind of separate what you're talking about. Maybe you want to talk about general things, but also sometimes you want to talk about maybe a school project. I can very easily add a channel, for example, called Project right over here, and now I can talk within the project channel, right? I can send something in the project channel, and it's not going to send in the general channel. So definitely something like this is going to be very good for a lot of people, and Discord is a free application which you can use, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Alright everyone, the last app I want to talk about is within the wellness and coping category. Now again, I wanted to include an app in this category because, of course, if you're watching this video well into the future, this video was made during the coronavirus pandemic, and a lot of people are going to be on remote learning. And because of remote learning, people are very isolated away. They're generally stuck in wherever they are for a very long period of time in quarantine. And in addition, people who are even going to school, they may have heightened anxiety of catching a virus, bringing it home, spreading it to their teachers, their friends, their family. So generally, not only is there, that isolation, or there's heightened anxiety, and that's not even including the type of anxiety that a lot of people also have just generally based on just general school and all of the assignments and everything that you have to do, grades, all of that. So I definitely wanted to include an application that kind of helps people in that particular category. This app that I'm going over has been rated extremely, extremely well by millions of people on the App Store, and is available for both iOS and Android. It is called Headspace. Now, okay, I just have to log in again very quickly. Headspace is a very, very nice application. You can see, first of all, the design is very good, but what it does is it almost provides, I don't want to necessarily say complete meditation, but it is a wellness session that you can listen to. Generally, it includes meditation and meditation techniques, because generally, again, meditation has been proven by many, many different studies to be able to reduce stress and reduce anxiety, and generally promote calmness, as well as just general mental health. It definitely helps greatly. So meditation, you can see here that I'm on my today view, and I have all of these different things that I can listen to. So for example, I can click on this Free Your Mind, I can watch it, you can see this video. I'm gonna quickly close that out, because in case that's something that is a paid thing, I don't want it to actually be, displayed in some copyright thing. Then if I go over here to the meditate section, you can see there are all these things. There's like a basics course, which is something that is very good for many different people, and there are actually a lot of free courses, or just little videos that you can do already without having to pay the Headspace subscription. But definitely, I believe that if these things are really helping you and really affecting you in a positive way, I definitely recommend trying out even a subscription of some sort, simply because it's very good. But definitely try the free stuff first. Also, one thing I did, if I forgot to mention earlier, I'm not sponsored or affiliated with any of the applications in this video at all. So these are all just my personal thoughts. I think that this is a very good application. You can see you can pick a narrator that you like. You can then click begin course, and you can even see that you can set a time. You could, depending on how much time you have, if you only have 3 minutes, you could do literally a 3-minute session, and even those 3 minutes is going to help you a lot. Or you can do a more traditional 5-10 minute section. You click play, just put in some headphones, go into a quieter area of your living space, and just kind of, fulfill whatever the lesson is kind of talking you through. I definitely recommend this application, and again, I wanted to include an application because this is something, especially even with apps in school in general, that is often kind of forgotten or not really mentioned, is going to be kind of that mental health aspect. And this is a very good application which many people use, millions of people, and it's definitely something that has helped so many people, and I thought that I would just share this particular application with you all as well. Alright everyone, that wraps up all of the different apps I've shown in this video. All of the apps, I have, again, a little card on the bottom which gives you a little bit of explanation, like a little bit about the name of the app, the icon, the price, and which operating systems it is on, so that will allow you to kind of get a good idea if you want to go and download some of these, and I definitely recommend downloading them. It can definitely help your studying habits, learning habits, organizing, and also, again, as the last component said, even your mental well-being. Again, definitely recommend downloading these. If you have any questions or any comments, definitely leave them in the comment section below. I'm always reading my comments. I will answer some of you. If you liked the video and you want to see more, definitely feel free to like and subscribe for more content. Hit a notification bell to get notified when I create new videos, such as, for example, that Notion tutorial or that Quizlet video. And as always, thanks for watching. See you all very soon.